Hi, welcome to the Dallas Bachata Fusion Festival. I'm Corinne Deehan, and today we're going to be talking about costume design, how you can design your own or talk to somebody who can design one for you. We're going to have a lot of fun today, so let's get started. So first we're going to talk about inspiration, and I just want to show you my computer screen here. So some of the things that I search would be just a simple Google search of Spring 2020, which would be the most current fashion trends. And if you scroll through all of those items, you can pick out different colors, different shapes, things that resonate with your personal style or the style of music that you're selecting a costume for. Please realize that I am not sponsored, non-affiliated with any of the websites or the items that I'm showing you. I'm just showing you the research that I have done and some of the resources that I myself use whenever I'm involved in a creative project. So moving forward, Spring 2020. As you can see, there's a lot of really wonderful things here. Ruffles, different shapes, very strong shoulder lines, very lovely sleeves. Usually I pick and choose the things that I like. A lot of screenshots on my phone. I also use Pinterest as well as Instagram in order to pick up on things that are happening in the now and what people are designing in the moment. Very simple word searches for dance costumes, Latin dance, swimsuits even will give you a plethora of choices to look at. So think about the shapes that you want on the stage. Think about the way that you want the costume to look. Look at the colors, start to notate what things you're interested in, what things you aren't interested in. Being able to say no to something is just as important as being able to say, yes, I like that. Once you can find a few things that inspire you, there was a few things in here where I really like the plunging neckline and I really like very free-flowing, movement-ready designs. And so I'm thinking that what I want for this is definitely going to be that big, drapey dress on top of a fitted leotard. There are a lot of free online sources where you can access croquis drawings. These are nude modeling figures that you can draw your design onto. I used a DeviantArt artist, and they will be referenced down in my list below if you want to pick up some of their free croquis. I also like to draw my own. Sometimes I will do dynamic poses in order to see how things would look in profile or in motion. Part of what you want to do is look at the form on the page and then think about how your costume will wrap that form. Do you want a high thigh line? Do you want a low neckline? All of those things should be included, and you should just try out ideas as bold or as subtle as you wish to be. So when I did my final drawing for this specific design, I wanted to make sure that I highlighted a few things, which was movement, but also transparency. You want to think about how fabric looks when it is under light. So anything that is transparent or translucent will be even more so transparent or translucent underneath those stage lights. Once you've decided what the look of your costume is going to be, once you've drawn it on your croquis, you can go looking for a pattern that is most like what you have drawn or most like what you desire in your finished product. There is lots of free online content, and there's also paid content. I usually like to pay for my patterns because I know that they've been vetted and tested, and usually there's a lot of resources online for the independent pattern makers that I access. They have blogs, they have videos, there is a lot of free online tutorials that will help you get to the end result. The free content, of course, I am going to include down in the list, but for right now, I want to talk about where you can go to get patterns that you pay for. Etsy is a phenomenal resource. You can find swimwear patterns, you can find dancewear patterns, fitness wear patterns. These are all things that you can look at in order to get the shape that you want. You can do separates, you can do bodysuits. They have basic leotards and basic unitards that you can alter in order to get exactly the look that you want on stage. So after you've figured out what you want your item to look like, you have your pattern, you know your yardage, you've picked your color, or maybe you're still trying to figure out your colors, you're going to want to think about the fabric. So As you can see from this costume, I knew I wanted a sheer and I knew I wanted a solid underneath as my leotard. And I flirted with 2 different color combinations. One was this purple with this really fine mesh nylon that went over top of it, like that. But I didn't quite like how sheer this was, and I didn't like how much of this was visible when it was underneath of it. And so I moved on to my favorite family of colors, the teals and ocean blues. And this I knew that I wanted, but I, again, wanted to test out what I thought of 2 different sheer fabrics. So one was this amazing glitter leopard print. And then the second is this sheer leopard, which is a little bit more opaque, but still has that green and that teal color. This, I think, looked the best, as well as moved the best, which you can see right here. Once you spin this, it creates a lot of outward momentum, which is really nice. And you get flashes of all the things that I wanted. I have a garter belt that matches this material, which is a phenomenal little highlight underneath of this very voluminous skirt. I altered my pattern to have a deep V. I wanted this little braided detail, and then I just wanted it to be a simple, almost swing dress, very long and dramatic in the back. So you saw my process for selecting what fabrics and what colors that I enjoyed. You can use a color wheel to see what is available and to see what goes next to each other. Another cheap option is to use the paint chips from Home Depot. Go select colors that you like, put them next to each other, and see what resonates with you and what vibes for whatever music or dance you are choreographing for. There are several places where you can go online to buy fabric. I love Spandex House. It is one of my favorite places to go. It is a 3-story monolith in New York, is filled with stretch fabrics of all prints, sizes, and colors. You can definitely go there or ask that they send you a sample of the fabric colors that they have in stock and select that way. You can also go to Etsy. They have a lot of stretch fabric that is definitely usable for costume making, and you can always find reliably many, many colors. The last resource that I want to talk about is the shiny stuff, which, let me tell you, we all love the shiny stuff. Rhinestones and dancing are better than peanut butter and jelly, and prettier too. The rhinestone guy is my #1 source for buying rhinestones. His prices are wonderful, and I always know that if he's not in stock, I'm going to find out very quickly, and he will try and work with me in order to get me what I need when I need it. He has different levels of pricing, and he has different levels of rhinestones. So you can really keep yourself on budget or maybe splurge if you really want to. Rhinestone Guy also has resources that help you with sewing. The ball gown manual that he has is a wonderful resource that will be more in depth than how I'm speaking to you right now about making a costume. But this is also for long, full-length standard or smooth dresses, as well as the Latin costumes, which is more traditionally what we use when we're dancing bachata or salsa. This resource has been invaluable to me, and I would suggest that if you were going to buy something or if you did want to read further into something, this is a wonderful resource. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated, but it's really helpful when you're starting out. It asks you the questions when you need to be asked. There are a few different things that you've seen here. One of them that I want to talk about is the Miko sports bra pattern. It is very pretty, very elegant, and could be very easily worked into a 2-piece costume. She also has a resource for sewing and how to insert a bra into a rash guard, which you can apply to your costumes in order to make sure that you have support if some of your team members or you yourself are larger chested. These are all things you want to think about. We definitely want to minimize the amount of costume catastrophes that might happen on stage. So you want to make sure that you build these correctly and securely so that they stay on your body when you are moving. That's why I always love to look at athletic wear and swimwear as an option. Whew, that was a lot of information. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for listening. I hope you have some good motivational, creative inspiration to move forward with. I would love to hear about all of your lovely projects. Please come to the Facebook question and answer period. You'll see that on the schedule, and have a wonderful day.